Alright, just done my math shift, December 1st, 2018. Talking about two lifters that have inspired me, two big names in powerlifting, two just freaking mutant juggernaut freaks of nature. And these lifters, one of them which is Eric Lilliebridge, who really was the early guy who was my goal. When I was 2009 getting into powerlifting training, watching it, I was watching 18-year-old Eric Lilliebridge. I was watching his numbers. I was like, man, I haven't seen a teenager, 18-year-old this strong. He's stronger than most bodybuilders who are pro. He's almost as strong as Ronnie Coleman, and he's 18 years old, and he's stronger than most of the pro powerlifters at 18. And I was like, man, if I am ever as strong as Eric was at 18, I will be a happy man. And I didn't know if I was going to do it naturally or not, but I'm well on my way naturally. And as far as him, I knew then, I was like, this guy's going to be the strongest on the planet. And I know Eric's purpose in the earth on this planet is to be the strongest raw powerlifter, as in lift the heaviest weight ever lifted as a raw powerlifter on the face of the earth and make his mark. He was the top guy, man. He was a prodigy. He was the top guy. He was a young guy totaling the veteran lifters. He was lifting more than the veteran lifters. He was already a top lifter. He was the Larry Wheels before Larry Wheels, Eric Lilliebridge. And he still has the 308 total records for the total. He's the number 3 reps lifter in the world. And one thing I want to discuss about Eric Lilliebridge is his muscular development. He is built like a bodybuilder. He has a complete physique. In fact, he even has more bodybuilding potential than Larry Wheels. But Larry Wheels has equal or more strength potential. But as for total lifts, but they have similar strength potential because Eric is also pound for pound very strong, but Larry Wheels just edged him out a bit. But bodybuilding potential, Eric has more. He has fuller muscle bellies. He has a complete physique. All he has to do is cut down. He'll place higher than Larry. And Larry is a lean powerlifter. Larry is built like a Greek god, basically. He's built like a juggernaut. And he is big back, lean. He's built, man. But Eric is more built, complete physique. And one muscle part that stands out the most for Eric are his traps. Eric has some of the menacing, most gigantic traps in all of powerlifting. And people want to say it's synthol, right? It's some people even say it's synthol. And one thing you have to understand is that's not synthol. Those traps, Eric is a inhumanely strong individual. And he deadlifts and he squats near 1,000 in sleeves. He deadlifts over 900, and he's relatively light for someone who does that weight, and he's built. And he does a lot of bodybuilding accessory outside of powerlifting. Does a lot of bodybuilding work. And he has great genetics for muscle and stuff. So his inhumane strength plus his bodybuilding work and his genetics and other factors, obviously, I'm not gonna say because no shit. That's something synthol will not buy. And also, Eric is somebody who wants to get as strong as inhumanely effing possible, and be the best power lifter in the world, the strongest, lift the most weight out of any power lifter in the world by all costs. That why would he need to take synthol? Synthol is going to be a waste of his money, waste of his time, and waste of achieving his goal. His bodybuilding work is just accessory work because bigger muscle means more potential to lift more weight. And synthol doesn't even add strength, so why would he take something that won't add strength? So those traps are basically raw heavy ass weight in the deadlift, squat, bench, and the bodybuilding work he does on top of genetics. Those are what built his traps. And he's not gonna use anything like synthol that doesn't add weight to your total. That is, his body is a work of raw freaking power and brute unreal strength and bodybuilding work. Alright, second lifter I want to talk about is Pete Rubish. He's obviously jacked. He's built like Larry Wheels similarly, but Larry Wheels is a little more jacked. But Pete has a freaking big ass back. And Pete has big traps too. But what really stands out the most for Pete is his neck. He has one of the craziest, if not the craziest, neck in powerlifting. It's almost as crazy as Goldberg the wrestler's neck, which is one of the craziest necks out there. And no, I'm not talking about the neck guy from the meme who's recent neck guy. The neck, what's it called? The neck, what's his name? The neck mugshot. That's a deformity. He has no power, no strength, and this webbed neck. That neck's not even aesthetic. It's a deformed thumb, retarded neck. I'm talking about Pete's power neck. How did Pete's neck come? Well, Pete deadlifts over 900 pounds. And Pete always had a big neck, even starting out. He has a long neck too, a long giraffe neck. He has a long giraffe neck. And when you have a long giraffe neck, it's going to look big regardless, especially if you're already a strong neck guy, or if you have good muscle genetics for your neck like Pete always did. And even when Pete first was gaining weight, most of his muscle went to his neck, especially when it's long. When you have a short neck, it doesn't look that big. When you have a long neck that's big, then everyone sees how big your neck is. And that's Pete. And Pete also deadlifts over 900 pounds. And when Pete locks out a deadlift, he mostly locks it out with his neck. When Pete does a good morning squat, the weight is on his neck. So his neck is lifting the weight somehow. He deadlifts over 900 pounds. He always had good neck genetics. He has a long ass neck and other things I can't describe. That's why Pete has a neck like that. Most of us will never have that neck, even if we deadlift 900 pounds. Your neck just has to be long as shit. And other factors. And he did not put synthol on his neck. That'd be just retarded. More even retarded than putting it in your traps. So that's what I'm saying. Eric's traps are basically from raw ass power, bodybuilding work, genetics, and other stuff. And it's no synthol, never synthol. That's just a freaking powerful man's traps. Eric is a very, very powerful man. Extremely powerful man. Brutally powerful man. And Pete's neck is freaking giraffe ass neck. And deadlifting near 900 pounds, a powerful deadlifter. And he's locking it out with his bloody neck, man. And it's also just raw strength and good genetics for his neck. His neck is just freaking mutated. And these are just animals.